This map shows that the Morey mansion is in the city of Redlands, which is in the county of San Bernardino, California. The Morey mansion has long been considered one of the finest examples of Queen Anne Victorian architecture in the country. This type of home is known for its ornate roofs, towers, porches, as well as the colors and textures of the building materials. This is David Morey, and it appears that he was born in Pennsylvania on October 7th, 1824. Sarah J. DeForest was born in Cayuga County, New York, in July 1841, and seems to have been quite a bit younger than her husband. The Moreys were married in 1870. I have read that it was in New York, and another account said it was in Oregon. I tend to believe it was probably Oregon, since it was reported that Sarah's father died while she was very young and was given up to friends that were moving to Oregon. Another clue is that David came out west as well in search of making it rich in the California gold rush, but after spending several years in Northern California, made his way to the Northwest. Access Genealogy has some rare info on David Morey's years before coming to Redlands. They write that after leaving the gold mines of Northern California, he made his way to Oregon and had taken up cabinetry that led into his working in the shipbuilding industry. He worked in different shipyards, and it lists some of the ships he helped build by name. The article goes on to say that for a few years, right before the Moreys moved to Redlands, he was working as a gunsmith. The Moreys made their way to the southeast corner of the San Bernardino Valley in 1882. Redlands was a settlement being built on the naval orange industry and would not be incorporated into a city until 1888. This drawing shows an outline of the Redlands colony in 1882. David purchased 10 acres of land by Brookside Avenue, and upon their arrival, there were no formal businesses in Redlands. They secured some orange trees from the Barton Ranch and went about to start their own grove. The Moreys are considered to be some of the earliest entrepreneurs in Redlands. David did some carpentry work and later on became the third director of the Redlands Water District, among other posts where he served the growing community. Sarah took advantage of the need for citrus tree stock for grove builders and started her own orange tree nursery. In fact, most all stories about the Morey mansion state that it was her nursery business profit that funded the construction of the house. And what a house it was! Here is the oldest photo I have found of the home. It seems barren for lack of grown shrubs and trees. You can see the carriage house in the back, being built before the automobile homes of this stature needed them to house both carriage and horses. The home was also built before Redlands had indoor electricity, which came about in August of 1893, when the Mill Creek No. 1 hydroelectric plant came online. It was the first three-phase alternating current plant in the United States. The Morey mansion was fitted with gas and oil lamps for the lighting. It was retrofitted with electricity around 1909. This is what the home looks like 136 years later. I took this photo earlier this year. It has benefited from always being kept up and not falling into disrepair like many homes of considerable age can do. Much to the delight of people living in the Redlands area and the greater Inland Empire, we have had only beautiful memories of the Morey mansion. I have a photographic art booth at a local farmer's market only a few blocks away from the Morey house, and I have people stop by when they see the photos of Morey and tell me about their memories of it. Some have even toured the inside in the past, before it became a private home again several years ago after being a bed and breakfast for some time. Or I will have people not familiar with Redlands see it and go, "Wow, where is that house?" Let's step back in time as we enter the front door into the Morey's mansion, as we see the couple are standing in the foyer to welcome us to a tour of some of the home's rooms. These photos have been restored from older color photos or even black and white prints. There are several rooms that I have found to show what this mansion reveals inside. Much like the outside, it is stupendous. I would love to have been there during construction to watch architect Jerome Seymour fussing about his plans, while David and expert woodworker Lee Wilmarth are crafting the ornate wood pieces. The home is 4,800 square feet, with 20 rooms and 96 windows. As we tour around the interior, you will notice that nowhere in the home did they skimp on the grandeur of workmanship. One fact we don't know is if any and how much was redone. I can't believe it was much given that the home is consistent with the era in which it was built. It is safe to assume that plumbing and electrical work has been worked on and improved over the decades. Therefore, the kitchen and bathrooms might be the recipients of more work than of the living areas. Though the Morey mansion is categorized as a Victorian home, more specifically a Queen Anne Victorian, it also has several different flares of other building styles. French, Russian, Chinese, and Gothic influences can be found. The onion dome that most identifies the home is very much a Russian inspiration. All 3 floors have different style windows, including Gothic and Romanesque rounded window frames. The Morey Mansion is probably the most identifiable icon of historic Redlands, California. The final chapter of Sarah and David is not a happy one. Sarah died rather suddenly in 1901, and David was devastated. One report says he would not go back into the mansion after her death. If it is accurate or not, it seems that according to accounts, he began drinking alcoholically and ended up in San Diego and was staying in the historical Hotel del Coronado. Here we have conflicting accounts of what happened. One report I found says that he hung himself in his hotel room, while other accounts I have read states that he shot himself. I believe that the second account is the accurate story, because I found that his cause of death was listed as gunshot. He was brought back to Redlands and was buried with Sarah at the hillside cemetery not too far from their beautiful home. Another interesting, yet hard to verify story about the Morey Mansion concerns the Hollywood actress Carole Lombard. It seems she was related to the Cheneys who owned the home after the Moreys. One account says that she stayed in the Morey Mansion once, as well as the Kimberly Crest Mansion across town. Another version of the story is that the Cheneys left the Morey Mansion to Carole upon their death, and that she never got to see the home before she died in a plane crash in Nevada in 1942. However, I have read in many articles that there is a room in the mansion named the Lombard Room. The Redlands Area Historical Society started giving out heritage awards to the great homes of Redlands in 1975. The Morey Mansion was an honored recipient in 1978. This video is dedicated to the couple who came to a new community being settled, and through hard work and vision, they left us with a beautiful home, as well as a lasting icon of their city and a view back in time to the Gilded Age of America.